My husband caught me cheating with another man, and his reply was intense. So, he's now serving a 7-year prison sentence, and my family hates me. I broke them, our once happy family, and I can't help but admit my actions were selfish. I repeat my self-criticism practically every night in my vacant home and the silence of my children. Unlike me, and understandably, deep regrets haunt my ex-husband. My immediate family is separated from me, and I still hate myself for my selfishness. This incident took place in 2015, and I'm now 39. Looking back, I realize I didn't value my ex-husband. He continuously praised my looks and was concerned about our personal lives, treating me equally instead of elevating me. Our 20-year relationship began as high school sweethearts. Our love was deep, exclusive, natural, and right. I granted him respect, and my family, especially my brother, admired his advice during rough times. Others relied on him, always available when needed to help throughout our lives together. He was good. We raised 2 determined sons. When this happened, our kids were in their teens. I gained weight and felt self-conscious, yet my ex always assured me of my beauty. We rarely argued, but typically did when focused on his life or my disinterest in things he inclined to do in bed. My lack of desire was not due to a lack of desire, but more of not feeling something he understood. My 39th birthday represented a new period for me. I spent a year doing yoga in the gym and Pilates, and my efforts changed my body from 180 to 135 pounds. Although I had changed significantly and had always been heavier, my ex-husband hadn't been to the gym, but less often, and he had dropped weight from 260 to 225 pounds, shaping his body. Despite my better appearance, my ex-husband couldn't stop touching me for some strange reason. He tried, but I wasn't in the mood. Everything drove me out, dancing and walking regularly, kept helping around the house. His eyes held the same love and desire for me after 20 years together. Any woman would want that attention, but psychologically, I remained indifferent. At the time, I ascribed my disinterest to early menopause since there were just 2 or 3 intimate moments monthly, typically rapid. My ex-husband wanted more, but despite his efforts, I could not return his feelings. He advised marital therapy, but I refused. My selfishness started to appear shortly after my birthday. A little younger and beautiful manager started working in my office and first expressed interest in me. I rejected his advances, but informal chats became exchanges of flirting. Despite showing him my wedding band, I couldn't resist responding to his flirtations. We started discussing personal matters, and he progressively took over my life. Later, I realized this was an emotional affair. I ignored my ex-husband, who noticed something was wrong. A heated argument ensued. I think it started when he attempted to kiss me. I responded accidentally, disgustingly, but not about him, preoccupied with the other man. This turned me off. I kept it in mind, persuading myself. A week later, on an important day, I met the new guy in management, hoping to tell him to leave me alone and stop this situation. Before I could speak a word, he kissed me unexpectedly, and my mind went blank. That started it. During our 6-month romance, I was more open and excited about this man, not like with my ex. Always available and more interested, maybe from excitement, my intimacy with my ex diminished, and I distanced myself. I criticized his little habits and even degraded him. I'm ashamed I acted that way. After my brother told me about my ex's worsening depression, contemplating leaving, I realized my acts were serious. I ended the affair and quit my job, showed my husband love, and we wanted to repair our relationship and be better spouses. Then, my affair partner visited my house carrying a box of office supplies. During our conversation, he asked why things ended. I told him I had to prioritize my marriage and asked him to go. We met again, and sadly said yes. We went to the guest room, and things heated up. I lost track of time when, abruptly, my ex entered. My affair partner pulled back unexpectedly, hitting the wall with a loud noise. My ex had bloodshot eyes, falling tears, and trembling lips, showing tremendous pain. I was disgusted when the other man tried to leave. My ex confronted him. He advised my ex, and my ex couldn't hold back and attacked him. I screamed and begged to stop, panicking. I tried to leap on his back but was tossed down. Things were fuzzy for a while. When things got quiet, I realized my ex had repressed my affair partner and was on the phone. I just viewed the other man's bruised face, a loud sound, and teeth on the floor. My ex put the phone on speaker, set it down, and knelt. The police broke in behind him and handcuffed him. After the paramedics arrived, I discovered he had dialed 911. His hospital predicament worsened. My dad was silent, looking humiliated, while my brother raged, shouting at me. He seemed heartbroken, questioning how I harmed my ex. My mom comforted me by stating things would improve, but my dad shouted at her. My family was furious. My sisters threatened me, and my parents seemed interested in seeing me suffer. I tried to communicate with my kids, but my sons didn't answer or even look at me. Simultaneously, my affair partner suffered and needed facial surgery after the argument with my ex in the hospital. A woman entered my room unexpectedly and started hitting me. My brother had to pull her off. He was married. I had an affair with a stranger while married. He never wore rings. I felt even guiltier after saying it. Before the trial, my sons stayed with their grandparents on my ex's side. My girls stopped talking to me. My ex didn't want to see me either. I attempted to visit him in jail, but wasn't allowed. My brother worked there, and the prison arranged so my ex could move there. My brother could guard him. When I begged my brother to tell my ex, he was angry and told me to go to hell. Trying to see my ex again, his rage was severe for 3 months. More than expected, he had always loved me, even when we argued, but now it was pure hatred. I grieved in the toilet. Time passed, and I shared specifics of my affair in court publicly. When I explained how it happened, my ex looked saddened, and my dad left the court. I instantly heard my ex's testimony. I learned he planned to surprise me with lunch and a weekend getaway. He intended to spend a romantic weekend with me, but interrupted us when the other man urged him to move. My ex snapped and attacked him. Halting only after pushing me away did he call 911. We heard his sad voice and sobs while talking to the operator. What a miserable man I was with. Unable to talk in court due to medication, they showed images of his injuries. Seeing his injuries made me feel sorry. My ex injured him severely, shattering his eye socket, cheekbones, jaw, and bone parts too tiny to fix. My ex got 7 years for third-degree felony assault. My son contested the sentence, and my daughter's and his family's anguish was evident. I still remember the first 3 months were hell. The ex-wife of my affair partner sued me. My ex filed for emotional alienation divorce. My oldest son left. My other son never left his room. My twins imitated my ex. My sisters confronted me in a supermarket, and my mom spat at me when I apologized. My dad and my brother wouldn't talk to me. Even my childhood friends parted. Finding a new job was hard because we had no income. Our savings were practically gone. I was pretty much banned in my field due to the negative press. I started working for an accounting firm, retail, and H&R Block seasonally. During tax season, we nearly lost our residence. My ex wouldn't allow me to visit. He returned all my letters. I ended up writing without opening them, crying in the shower most days. Mom harmed her parents' marriage, kept offending me, and my brother felt guilt as if I didn't exist. It was devastating, and I considered disappearing and leaving everything. Eventually, I decided to see a therapist. She told me I was too relaxed with my ex. She stated I saw him more like a benefit-laden pal than a husband. She was right. I was too. He made me feel at ease, a partner, but still considered me his spouse and the mother of his children. I had snatched his beloved woman, taken for granted. A year ago, my kids didn't talk to me. Whenever I made dinner, they just ate in their rooms, not even looking at me. I broke down multiple times. I begged them to talk to me, but they kept silent. My brother married, and I was not invited, but my kids were. I tried to see my ex, expecting he would let me visit him, but I was always turned away. He never opened my letters. Deep down, I deserved it. Depression ruled me. One day, my brother appeared, my first sighting of him since the trial. I was glad to meet him, but he came to scold, not make up. He told me my ex was in the jail infirmary with injuries after fighting another prisoner who tried to get personal with him. His escort had stomach and other injuries. My convict broke his spine. My brother blamed me for it and left angry in his truck. I cried for days because he was right. My divorce was finalized a few months after I discovered the affair. The process was emotionally draining, but I was determined to move forward with my life. During the divorce proceedings, my wife continued to plead for another chance, claiming she made a mistake and would do anything to make it right. However, the trust was shattered beyond repair, and I knew there was no going back. My decision to remain single and focus on myself was reaffirmed as I rebuilt my life. I dedicated more time to my hobbies, reconnected with old friends who had always been there for me, and even started traveling for leisure instead of work. Each day brought a little more healing, though the scars of betrayal were still there. One day, while visiting a nearby coffee shop, I ran into an old friend from college, Sarah. Sarah had always been a kind and understanding person, someone who could listen without judgment. We had lost touch over the years, but our conversation flowed effortlessly as we caught up on each other's lives. Sarah had recently gone through her own rough patch, a breakup with her long-term boyfriend. We bonded over our shared experiences of heartbreak and betrayal, and it felt refreshing to talk to someone who truly understood what I was going through. We started meeting regularly, supporting each other through our respective healing processes. As months turned into a year, my relationship with Sarah grew stronger. It wasn't romantic at first, but a deep friendship formed. She helped me see that not all relationships were destined to fail, and that there were still genuine, trustworthy people out there. Slowly, I found myself opening up to the possibility of love again. One evening, after a long day at work, Sarah and I were sitting on her porch, sipping tea and watching the sunset. She turned to me and said, "You know, we've both been through a lot, but I truly believe that we can find happiness again, together." Her words struck a chord with me. For the first time in a long while, I felt a glimmer of hope and the warmth of companionship. It was then that I realized my feelings for Sarah had evolved into something more profound. With her, I saw a future that wasn't clouded by the past. Taking a leap of faith, I shared my feelings with Sarah. To my relief and joy, she felt the same way. We decided to take things slow, giving our relationship the time and space it needed to grow organically. This time, I was more cautious, ensuring that communication and trust were the foundations of our relationship. Years passed, and Sarah and I became inseparable. We moved in together, and our home was filled with laughter, mutual respect, and love. Every now and then, memories of the past would resurface, but they no longer held the power to hurt me. Instead, they served as reminders of how far I had come and the strength I had gained. My ex-wife occasionally tried to reach out, sending messages of regret and asking for forgiveness. While I have forgiven her for my own peace of mind, I never responded. It was crucial for me to maintain the boundaries that protected my newfound happiness. As for my former friend and the others who had kept the affair a secret, they remained a part of my past. I had no interest in rekindling those toxic relationships. My life was now filled with positive, supportive people who genuinely cared about my well-being. In time, Sarah and I decided to get married. It was a small, intimate ceremony with just close friends and family. Standing there, exchanging vows with Sarah, I felt a profound sense of peace and contentment. I had finally found someone who valued and respected me as much as I did her. Looking back, my journey from betrayal to healing had been long and arduous, but it had taught me invaluable lessons about self-worth, resilience, and the true meaning of love. I learned that while not every relationship is meant to last, the right one can bring immense joy and fulfillment. In the end, my story wasn't just about betrayal and heartache. It was about finding the strength to move on, the courage to trust again, and the beauty of a second chance at love. Sarah and I stood together, hand in hand, at our intimate wedding ceremony. Our closest friends and family surrounded us, their smiles and tears reflecting the deep emotions of the day. The vows we exchanged were simple but profound, promising to love and support each other through all the highs and lows that life would bring. Our life together after the wedding felt like a dream. We traveled to new places, explored different cultures, and created countless beautiful memories. Sarah's unwavering support and understanding helped me to completely heal from the past. With her, I felt more secure and loved than I ever thought possible. One evening, while we were sitting on the couch planning our next adventure, Sarah looked at me with a thoughtful expression. "I've been thinking," she said softly, "what do you think about starting a family?" The idea of having children had always been on my mind, but the trauma of my past relationship made me hesitant. However, with Sarah, everything felt right. We talked about it at length, discussing our hopes and fears, and ultimately decided to take the plunge. A year later, we welcomed our first child, a beautiful baby girl named Emily. Holding Emily for the first time, I felt an overwhelming sense of love and protection. It was a new kind of happiness, one that I hadn't experienced before. Sarah and I embraced parenthood with open hearts, supporting each other through sleepless nights and joyful milestones. Emily brought so much light into our lives. Her laughter was infectious, and watching her grow and discover the world filled us with a sense of wonder and gratitude. We made sure to create a loving and nurturing environment for her, one where she could thrive and feel secure. As Emily grew older, we decided to expand our family once more, welcoming a baby boy named Ethan. Our home was now filled with even more laughter, love, and the delightful chaos that comes with raising young children. Sarah and I worked as a team, balancing our careers, parenting, and our relationship with grace and patience. Years went by, and our family continued to flourish. Emily and Ethan grew into kind, curious, and resilient individuals. They reminded me every day of the beauty of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. One day, while we were all gathered in the backyard for a family barbecue, I took a moment to step back and observe the scene. Sarah was laughing with Emily over a joke, and Ethan was playing with our dog, his face lit up with joy. It was a perfect moment, one that encapsulated the happiness and fulfillment I had found after so much heartache. Reflecting on my journey, I realized that the pain of my past had ultimately led me to this beautiful present. I had learned to trust again, to open my heart, and to embrace the possibilities of love and happiness. Sarah had been my rock, my confidant, and my greatest love. Together, we had built a life filled with love, trust, and endless possibilities. In the end, my story was one of resilience and redemption. It was a testament to the power of love and the strength of the human spirit. Despite the betrayals and heartaches, I had found my way to a life that was richer and more fulfilling than I had ever imagined. And as I stood there, surrounded by the family I had always dreamed of, I knew that I had finally come home. Years passed, and our family continued to thrive in ways I could have never imagined. Emily and Ethan grew up surrounded by love, understanding, and the unwavering support of their parents. They blossomed into remarkable young adults, each carving their own paths with confidence and kindness. One sunny afternoon, as Sarah and I sat on the porch watching Emily and Ethan play a game of frisbee with their friends, I felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. The scars of my past had healed, replaced by the vibrant tapestry of our present life. Sarah squeezed my hand, her smile reflecting the joy in my heart. "Can you believe how far we've come?" she said softly, her eyes shining with pride and love. I nodded, feeling a lump in my throat. "It's been an incredible journey," I replied. "I wouldn't trade it for anything." As the years rolled on, Our children continued to grow and achieve great things. Emily graduated from college with honors and pursued a career in environmental science, driven by a passion for protecting the planet. Ethan followed his love for technology and innovation, creating groundbreaking solutions that made a positive impact on people's lives. Sarah and I, now entering our golden years, decided to travel the world once more, this time with a new perspective. We visited places we had always dreamed of, immersing ourselves in different cultures and creating new memories. Each trip was a celebration of our enduring love and the life we had built together. One evening, while we were watching the sunset over the serene beaches of Santorini, I turned to Sarah and said, "Thank you for being my everything, for believing in us when I couldn't, and for showing me the true meaning of love." Tears welled up in her eyes as she smiled and replied, "And thank you for choosing to heal, to trust again, and for building this beautiful life with me." In our later years, we enjoyed the simple pleasures of life: gardening, cooking together, and hosting family gatherings where our home was filled with laughter and warmth. We watched our grandchildren grow, their innocent joy and curiosity a testament to the love that had brought our family together. One particularly special day, our family gathered for a grand celebration at our home. Emily had recently announced her engagement to a wonderful partner, and Ethan shared the news that he was expecting his first child with his spouse. The house buzzed with excitement, love, and the promise of new beginnings. As Sarah and I sat back, observing the joyous chaos, I realized how blessed we were. Our journey had been filled with trials and tribulations, but it had led us to this moment, a life full of love, family, and fulfillment. As the sun set on that unforgettable day, Sarah and I sat on the porch, hand in hand, watching the stars begin to twinkle in the sky. "We've built something beautiful," I said, my voice filled with emotion. Sarah leaned her head on my shoulder and whispered, "Yes, we have, and it's all because we never gave up on each other." In the twilight of our lives, we knew that our love story was more than just a tale of redemption. It was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of unwavering love. Together, we had turned pain into strength and loss into a life filled with endless love and joy. And as we sat there, enveloped in the warmth of our family's love and the beauty of the night sky, I realized that the best ending to our story was not an ending at all, but a continuation of the love and legacy we had built. A story that would live on through our children and their children, forever etched in the hearts of those we loved. The moral of the story is that true love and commitment can heal deep wounds and lead to a life filled with joy and fulfillment. Despite facing betrayal, pain, and significant challenges, forgiveness, personal growth, and unwavering support from loved ones can transform lives and create a beautiful, enduring legacy. This story highlights the importance of resilience, trust, and the power of redemption in building and sustaining meaningful relationships. Thank you for watching. If you found this story moving and insightful, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories and life lessons. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay inspired and keep believing in the power of love and forgiveness.